in an ideal scenario, when I go ahead with the drawing, I would prefer to first measure up where each of these are going. So here's my, yeah, here's my image. So this is an A4 size paper onto which I have it. Now this measurement, if you have printout, you can either trace it on your paper on your thing, and you can use that. You can trace it on your paper, and you can use a tracing paper, trace, and you can use that as your grid measurement. Or
The music playing.
oh, the
There
music
was
is oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, you should have told me. I wasn't aware the music was playing in the background.
I thought you are doing some show kind of thing for us.
No. What should?
No, I mean for the photographs and background music we thought.
No, nothing like that. Okay. Oh, so could you hear what I was saying? Could you hear what I was saying?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
My God. So I should repeat all of this. Okay, so look at this one here. Let's look into this and how wide, how far are these? So this one, if you notice in this entire portrait, I have the center here, and then this center. See, most of the time when I draw, I'm not going to be taking exact measurements. It is a skill to, it becomes important for you to build that thing where you're able to eyeball and you're approximate based off approximate measurements that you're taking. So when I approximately measure it this way, this is how wide my face is going to come. This is the extent to which my head is also going to go. When I look at this, some of the basic things that I can understand. Some of the basic things that I can understand from this front face is that if I divide this vertically into two grids, the upper portion is what is dominated by the head. The lower portion is what is dominated by the rest of the body. Okay. Or that is if I consider it this way. Now, if I zoom in closer, if since the focus is on portraits, I can also zoom in closer and I can draw. It's up to you how you wish to go ahead with it. But based on this one,
should we draw the hand and everything also?
yeah, it becomes a completely different thing. But let's analyze it. And let's break it down. Then secondly, when I consider this one, I can divide this. The upper portion, if I divide this into horizontal, if I divide it into half, this one portion is divided by the head, one portion is occupied by this head. Now let's see what happens when I zoom this in. Yeah. So here I have a much zoomed in version of this portrait. A lot of my emphasis is on the hair here. And now I have positioned my portrait. I feel this is a much better way to draw rather than doing the hands. So let's draw it this way. So I have this one in this entire frame. If I set the grid here, let's approximate how much is this head going to be. If the half is here, this portion should be somewhere around 65%, 65, 70, not even 70, like 65, 60, 65% is what this frame is going to go. That much portion is what will occupy the head. It's always important to eyeball. Approximate, and then we can start drawing that way. So here as well, I'll be occupying close to, from this portion, 60%, from each of these halves, 60%, 60%. So let's take it that way. And let's first start by drawing this head this way. When I come to, yeah, let's start that way. All right. So now I'm switching to my drawing screen here.
So we are going to draw the zoomed in image.
Yes, we are going to draw the zoomed in image. Okay. Let's draw the zoomed in image because now when I look at it, I think the close-up version would be much more appealing, since our entire focus is on portraits. So let's start with the border here. I'm also happy because by this end I'll have a good portrait of Shakira. I've always wanted to draw Shakira. I've never drawn her. I'll also consider this drawing seriously. Let's see. Now, the first thing for a front of portrait, I can start by placing a center line, which I start from here. My entire focus is here, and I will do it.
A5 one, Niranjan.
Yeah, I'm drawing in A5. I'm going to be drawing it in A5. If you wish to, you can draw it in A4. Which one are you using, Hema?
I have both, so I'll do what you do.
Okay. I'm doing it in A5. I'm doing it in A5. It's easier for me to like comprehend and explain in A5. A4 will be too large. Now, you can unmute yourself. I mean, unless there is too much noise. I've always noticed that in Tanvi's place, there is loud TV that's always playing. So if it's pretty much silent around your place, you can unmute yourself. You can talk in between. Why remain silent all the time? So here is this. I have this much here, and I'll be using. Let's say 60% of this one. So which is, yeah, approximately this much is I'm making. Like, don't take measurements from me. Like approximate based of what we are drawing. Approximate. How much is it that you're going to draw? In this entire drawing, my frame is going to occupy. My frame is going to occupy how much? This much? No, I think this much. This much is what my frame is going to occupy. So how much out of that is going to come? Okay. Here's my center. All right. Here are my guidelines. This should provide you with a clarity on how much that we are going to be drawing. So just approximately, and you should get it right. So here as well, I have drawn my measurement. There you go. Lot of this is occupied by the hair. Lot of this portrait is the hair. That's it. Here I lay the top line for where my head is going to come. Now, in this is where my head is going to fit in. So my head, when I consider the way that we're going to be drawing it is, we draw a circle and we're going to extend. But then we know that if the top portion, the top limit of the head is here, if this is how much the head is going to come. As in, when we consider the center, we had learned that the eyes are going to come at the center. But what is the center? The center means it is this portion from here. So from this top, when I take, it's not going to come from here. Let's not mistake that. The center means it's not going to come from the forehead. The top portion, which is actually some of it is behind the temple of my head, what I call the temple of my head. From there till, I know my jawline isn't that visible with this beard, but till here. The center of this is the eye. See? The center of this is the eye. Now, if you look at Shakira, her portrait, her face isn't exactly standing up front like this. Rather, it is slightly tilted. So we'll have to consider that. It is slightly tilted and it is coming this way. We'll have to consider that when we draw. So that means, don't get mistaken. Don't take the center from this portion of the hair where it's starting. You will be making a mistake. You'll be making an error. Same with Virat as well. Hair can be misguiding, but consider from the apex of the head. Starting from the apex of the head is when you will have to consider the center. So use your intuition and draw accordingly. So I consider that I will take this little bit from the top. Little bit from the top, I'll take this. And then I can measure and see. So when I look at this portion from here, it is 11.5 centimeters. So at 5.5 is where I place my center. This is where my eyes is going to come. All right. After the border 5.5. I mean, from where I considered this one, The center is somewhat this much measurement is 5.5. From the top, it is at 8. Again, I'm not reading out these measurements. I'm not placing too much emphasis on these measurements. So I don't want you to be dependent on these. Approximate the space, and depending on the context of your drawing, there will be people who are drawing it in A4. There will be people who are drawing it in A5, A3. So let's not get it confused here. Contextualize your drawing and then find the center of the head. First, plot the how much position the head is going to take, how much out of this is going to take. Okay, out of this one, you're going to find the center, and then then the rest of this portion, between the rest of this portion as well, let's find the next center. This is where the nose is going to come, the line of nose. This is where the line of nose is going to come. All right. Don't be afraid of using scales here to just plot these. And then we can also find the center. What is going to be at the center of this one? Anyone wants to unmute and say what is going to be here? What is this line going to signify? Guys, go ahead, tell me. What is going to come here? If this is the eye line, this is the nose line, what is this? Lips. And what portion of the lips? Is it the center of the lips, top of the lips, or the bottom of the lips?
The center of the lip.
No, it is the bottom of the lips.
Oh, okay.
Right. The center of the lips, if we place this, what happens is you will notice that there is hardly any space for the chin and your mustache area. If the nose inside, the mustache area tends to be very large. So what is going to come here is the bottom of the lips. It can pop out a little, as we had seen in a previous example. When the lips are very full and luscious, it will pop out a little, but we can base the bottom of the lips around this one. And what else did we draw? And what else did we learn? The entire head, 5 units is what it's going to be. In the entire head, 5 units is where the eyes are going to be. But if we take 5 units from here, it will be too wide. 5 units, when you consider the shape of the skull, it is widest here. It is widest at the top. So this is in fact the head is going to come. This is the approximate shape of your head, isn't it so? It is wide here, and then it gets narrow here. Your eyes are somewhere around here. Your eyes, the center is somewhere around here. So in fact, there is this gap here. It is narrow around the portion where the eyes are going to be coming when the skull is widest. From this portion is what I meant, 5 units your head is going to be. From here, when I see, it's going to be slightly less. So it is safe to assume that in this head, in the shape of the head, when I consider this center here, I can take 1, 2. So overall, you can divide this into, this can overall be 1, 2, 3, and then what you say, half and half. This can overall be 4 units. Understand? This can overall be 4 units. So if I divide this, 4 units means if I divide this into half, 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 it will be confusing. That's not the way that you want to do. You want to divide 4 units in a way that 1 unit is at the center. Then you have 1 unit here, and you have 0.5 units here, half units here. Are you understanding? If this is 1 unit at the center, 1 unit here for the left eye, 1 unit here for the right eye. And then you have a half a unit here. That will be the ideal where you need to draw. Approximate, divide, do anything that is necessary. Or you can take, like, this is very hard to find because a lot of it is concealed by the hair. It's not a very practical, it's a good thing to understand this, but it's not practical to divide it and take that. You'll be confused. So just approximate and let's see what works.
Niranjan,
Yes.
I have a doubt. Can you tell me again, how do you place the eye if the face is tilted down?
If the face is tilted down. So if the face is
this
tilted
girl-
down,
Yeah.
yes. For
How do
if
you-
the yes, for this girl, what happens is when the head is tilted down, our eyes, the position of the eyes is at the center. Do you agree?
Yeah.
So the center is not from here, rather it is from this apex.
Yeah. Correct.
This is the, see, this is where the center is. My jaw ends here, okay, the rest is beard. This is where it ends. Now what happens is, when I have my head tilted,
Okay.
This portion here will in fact be raised.
Becomes more.
I
Okay.
mean, understand. So what happens is that this portion of the center will be shifting. So when I show it this way, it's in fact,
Yeah.
when I lower my head, it's not raised, it's lowering, and my center will shift accordingly to the lower. So when I consider the center, I'll have to take it somewhere. I'll have to approximate. I'll have to visualize it in 3D. I'll have to consider some point here, and then I have to take it. Understand?
Yeah.
Understand? If it's too tilted, then foreshortening takes place, and my chin will not be visible. If it is too tilted. So perspective also comes into play. Those are all very complex scenarios. Slight tilt. So instead of placing it at the exact bang center, take care of these two things. Your center should not start from from your forehead after the hairline. It should start above your hairline. Just visualize in this portrait here. In this portrait here, you have the apex somewhere from here.
Yeah.
Let's do this experiment and see. From this to this one, it is 6.5. From this to my chin also, it is 6.5. See?
Mm.
Understand?
Yeah.
From this is my apex. From here to my center of the eye, it is 6.5. From here, from the chin to the center of the eye, also it is 6.5. The center of the eye, when we place it, we'll need to consider the outer edges of the eye, with the inner edges being slightly downward. I hope you all know that.
Yeah.
Now, right? The inner edge will slightly point downwards. So this is where it is going to be. What I said was, don't take the center from here. You'll create a big mistake there. Especially when it's tilted, you'll have to take a, when you're seeing upfront, we can more or less, it'll be from here. When it's tilted, it will have to approximate the position we'll have to take it. Yeah.
So
Okay.
basically, when we make a portrait, we consider the hairline also, like where
Yes,
your
yes.
hair are going from.
Yes,
From
yes.
here to here, and then half your eyes come halfway through, and
Absolutely.
then that's how
Absolutely.
you.
That's how we need to consider. We need to consider the hair. Hair. See, for a lot of people, especially if you consider, okay, so if you consider Virat Kohli, for example, I mean, his hair is almost as big as his forehead here. In such scenarios, it's not practical to take this. Or even for general people, even for a lot of you people here, let's say even you, for example, Tanvi, your hairline, since you have a lot of hair, it will be raised, it will be a little bit slightly muffed and raised at the top. In that case also, we're not considering hair that is sticking out of the head. We are considering hair that is attached, that is, yes, just visualize yourself bald. Where is it starting? That is the place from which it is starting. Understand? Yes, Malanti understood. How about Rosina? Yes.
Yes.
So the midpoint will be brought down, is it now? Because she's looking down.
Yes, exactly. That's the way it's going to be. Now
Oh.
consider this one here. Consider this here. So how will you take the Virat Kohli? Just you'll have to fill this. You'll have to fill this yourself and see how the head is going to be. So when I just fill this up, see, when I just fill this up, this seems to be how this head is going to be. Is it visible? Should I probably make it with, it's very hard to mark on this because it's black.
Okay, it's visible.
Oh, wait. Let me use a highlight of it to be, yeah, somewhere. This is how high it's going to be. Let's take, yeah, something. It's somewhere from here. Let's try this experiment from here. If this is my center, how much is it going to be? It is 10 centimeter. All right. From this to the bottom. See, again, another confusion that can occur. His chin is only till here. Guys, his chin is only till here. This is the level of the chin. The rest is beard. So when you consider the center, you're not considering, you're ignoring the beard. So when I consider just the chin, see, it's 10 centimeter. Understand? With a slight variation, for perhaps 2 mm, 1 mm difference will come. But that's understandable. That's just a miscalculation from my end here. But apart from that, this rule when I take, it's universal. Okay. You'll have to be aware. You'll have to be careful of all of these. Yeah, that's another thing. Also in these selection portraits, I have deliberately chosen a person with beard so that you get an experience of drawing a person with beard as well. And how will we draw a face? How will we draw a face up front? That is the first and primal lesson that we need to understand. See, when I draw a face from here, we are going to it's impossible for us to, we know the shape of the skull, but we don't want to draw the skull, draw the muscle and draw that. The easiest way that we can represent the head is, this you don't draw as a circle, as a whole. It would be an error. If we draw a circle as a whole, this would look very dumb. It look like a potato. So rather what we are going to be doing is we are going to draw a circle from this apex, from this edges. From this edges, the center of the circle is not going to be this eye line. The center of the face is the eye line. So the center of the circle should somewhere be around this mid of the forehead. Okay? And then we draw a circle. The bottom edge of this is going to be the nose line of the circle. The top of the circle is going to be the, understand, the top of this is going to be the apex of the head. So when we draw a face, you will have to consider that. And what is going to be the center of this? It is certainly not going to be the eye line. See, it is somewhere around this end point around the forehead. This understanding the center is not important. I'm just telling you so that you get a clarity. You don't confuse it with the eye line. This is the center of the face. The face extends beyond this. So when I draw this woman here, I will have to first understand this as a combination of this circle, of which the bottom end is this. The bottom radius is this. The radius is this nose line as well as this one. And from here, I will have to extend this form here. You can extend this as, since we have this jawline, this bone structure that comes here, the zygomatic bone that comes here, you'll have to extend this out from here, bring this division, and then turn it, and then draw a square base jaw. Clear? Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Try drawing it. Let's try drawing it on paper. Let's try putting it on paper. We have these extremes divided. So my entire thesis revolves around this, that my nose line is here. These are going to be the ends of this one. And as we draw for different portraits, when we draw for the 3/4 unit, draw for the side view, these are all going to change. Okay. This is going to be a rather lengthy session. I'm giving you a sign up front because there is a lot that I want to cover. So from here, it's going to be this one. And then this is going to be my center. It's not necessary that you use a compass. If you wish to, you may use a compass. It's not necessary. This can act as a good reference. So based on this, if this is the center, how would you draw a circle around this? If this is the center and these are the edges, how would you draw a circle around this? See, these are your edges as well. Just try freehand, because when it's not always practical to carry a compass with you when you're drawing a portrait, and it's very restraining. You just try this freehand circle. Smoothen your hands and try this freehand circle. I don't think it's very hard. We've been doing this for months. We've been doing this for ages now. Yes, getting it? Are you able to get this on paper? Yes, good. Now from here, this is the end. Let's draw this. Let's pull this out. See, when you look at this one here, my lip line. So we consider this zygomatic bone. From here there is a bend. From here there is another bend where the chin and this is going to go, where the jaw meets the chin. This line is where the lip line meets. See this? If I extended this lip line, we'll of course give it a curved profile. All right. We're not going to draw this as a flat thing because the face is curved. We'll give this a small curve. Even for this one, we'll give all of this a small curve, a slight curve. But if you notice, this ends here. Get it? This ends here, and from here is where the next bend is going to come. So let's let's draw it that way. I add a slight bend here. I add a slight bend here. I draw this one. Don't over bend this. Let's keep an approximation. Let's always, what you say, keep an approximation. From here, I add an additional bend. I add a base here. This base has to be 1 unit of this. We'll get clarity on it. We'll get clarity on it. We cannot always, since we are beginning, we cannot always get the crystal clear face on the first attempt. We'll slowly build clarity. And that is the way that we are going to draw the outline for the face. Are you getting something close to this? Are you able to get this?
Yes.
Yes, Narendra.
Yes, very nice. Now let's bring in the other details here. This face here is tilted and it's tilted downwards. So if you consider this eye line here, I will highlight this with a different color. If you consider the eye line here, this needs to be curved downwards. If I'm looking up, if we are drawing someone who's looking up, this line should be curved upwards. Contouring, if I'm looking down, it should curve upwards. If I'm looking up, it should curve upwards. She is not looking down per se, but there is a tilt. There is a downward tilt. It's not perfectly straight. So we will show this by making this curved. Before we draw the eye line, we will have to set that clear. You will have to approximate this angle. Don't over exaggerate it. I have marked it here for your reference. Based of this, I want you to derive it. So the center will shift. See this, don't when we do this, okay, when we do this, we need to understand that this center line that we mark. Oh, Gayatri needs to be. What happened, Gayatri? Hey Gayatri, you there? All right, no problem. Do catch up with the recording.
Sorry, Niranjan, some disturbance. I'll catch up with the recordings.
All right. Do catch up with the recordings and try this out. All right. Yeah, and this as well. So let's understand that when we draw this one, the center line that we have placed. When I draw this grid measurement here, a lot of you will find this fascinating. When I pull this curve down, see, this is the shape of our curve. I'm exaggerating it for your reference, all right? If this is the curve, this is the center line. It won't curve this one. I'm just exaggerating it so that you can understand it better. If this were the center line, this is the relation between this center line and this curved line. As in, it is exactly cutting. This line is exactly cutting it at its half. Understand? So if the degree of curve is smaller, this is the relation. It's going to be this one probably for this portrait here. It's going to be a slight curve. And it will slightly, from the center, it will slightly curve. And from this portion, it will slightly curve up. Even here, it will be half. So I'm telling you this so that when you draw the curve, I don't want you to consider we have drawn a straight line. I don't want you to curve it this way. Neither do I want you to curve it this way. Both of these will give you wrong measurements. Rather, I want you to find a sweet spot where this cuts exactly at the half. So a little bit curves up, little bit curves down about the center. All right. So let's understand that. Let's draw this line. A lot of this is freehand, a lot of this is approximation. That's the beauty of this. If you notice, I'm not focusing too much on the inking part of it because I am taking the session on the assumption that a lot of you are already good with inking. That is with that assumption that I'm taking the session. I'm focusing more on the sketching part of the portraits here. And then this nose line. I will do the same for this nose line as well. See, curve it. All of these curves has to be parallel. Only when there is a perspective foreshortening, this curve will change. Again, see, we use this. All right. And then for this head here, we can draw, let's draw the hairline here. So the hairline will come here. It makes sense to draw the hairline here. And then I can pull out this. I can pull this out. All right, so I'm just approximating this hairline here and I'm drawing this. Now I have this eye unit. So how do I measure the eye unit? The easiest method that I would do is the easy method that I would do is I can measure how wide this entire unit is going to be. This entire unit, when I look, it is for me, this edge here, when I take this, when I consider this edge here is 9 centimeters approximately. So from this is the point of the eye, the skull, of course, goes wider, much wider than this. The skull goes much wider. A lot of it is, in fact, invisible by the hair. So this one is approximately, for me, it is approximately 9 point something centimeters. And what is 9 divided by 4? 2.2 something. So 2.2 centimeters is going to be 1 unit. So out of this 2.2, I'm just taking 1.1. And that is how I fix my spot. Get it? I have taken this entire measurement and I have found out how wide is this. That I consider as my X unit. And that X unit, I take the half of it, place it at this, between this line of nose, and I draw it.
What was that again you said about dividing by 4, 9 centimeters?
Oh, you want me to explain it again, Tanvi? Sure.
Yes, please.
So what I meant was, my problem here is, I need to find I need to find 1 unit. I need to divide this into 4, at the same time find 1 unit of this. So how can I do this? If I divide this into 4, I will not be able to get the number of this. Right.
Right.
So what I would do is I would measure how wide my entire unit. 9 something.
9 centimeters.
This 9 centimeter when I divide into 4, it is 2.2. This 2.2, out of this 2.2 is my X unit. Right, 4 into 2.2 is equal to 9. So this 2.2, I need to make this 2.2 in such a way that it is exactly at the center. Hence, I take 1.1 on either side.
Okay.
Understand?
So loud here, so we can't hear some disturbance.
Yeah, it's from Tanvi's end.
Oh.
So that is the noise coming from. That's it. So have you all been able to get this 1 main unit here? Again, and once I have this one from here, once I have 1.1, I can just take 2.2 here, and that's where my eyes are going to be. So I have been able to find the spot for my eyes. For the, not my eyes, the eyes for my Shakira. Now that I have this, I can do what I can start with my sketching the eyes part. Finally, I have laid the foundation. We can ignore the rest, the nose, all of these portions we can ignore for now. These nose, all of this If you wish to, you can just represent a triangular portion, which means that it will be the nose. That just adds a context. A curve here, and from you can take half of between this measurement, between this 2.2 measurement, you can take a little bit of this, and then you can just show. It just adds a little bit of context. That's it, nothing more than that. Okay. Now, and then let's draw the eyes here. So I start by drawing this eye socket here. Very wide eye socket. Center, a circle here. A circle here. The outer edge is the outer edge of the eye. The inner edge is this, not this center, but rather slightly outside of it where this nose is. Nose ends are. That is how wide my circle is going to be. I hope this was very clear from the previous session in which we again sketched the eye. Yes. And now let us, so this is the edge of my eye here. I can use a darker pencil for this. Yeah, I can use this pencil. So for drawing this edge, this is going to be my outer edge. My eyebrows are going to come here. Let's start this eyes by drawing these eyebrows. A very sharp eyebrows. We notice Shakira's eyebrows are very sharp here. It's very sharp here and it sharply descends. Right? So I can understand that and I can place an approximate sketch for this. The sharp eyebrows that just goes here. Likewise here as well, a sharp eyebrow that goes here. I can double check whether this and this is meeting at the same spot. So there is no clear rule as to how high the eyebrows are going or any of that, and that I am aware of. Right? So I have drawn the sharp eyebrows and all of this here. That's step one. Next, out of this one, I will start by dividing the major planes here. So I can draw this one, and then I can draw this plane here, which includes the upper eyelid, and I draw this. So if you notice here again, there is this beautiful, so it's a what is a very smooth, almost almond shaped eye she has, almost almond shaped eye, very close. No one's eye is perfectly almond, but very close, almost there. So I have this singular large curve that goes here. And then here as well, I have this curve that comes here. As we draw, we will be bringing in slight changes into these measurements. So I have noticed that this can be a little more wider. That's when we add the definitions. This can be slightly wider. This is a very template. This is a template phase, and each phase. Yes.
When you draw the eyes, you draw it a little tilted. Like usually we draw a line in the center of the eye.
Yes.
And
slightly tilted. Slightly tilted.
Okay.
I did it. Okay. I did it. I just didn't represent it, but it's there.
Okay.
Yeah. And also, since we have drawn this lines, this eye line as curved, you can use this itself. Understand? Right. This eye line is curved now. I can use this as the measurement. So where this is coming, where this curve is coming, that itself I can place for this tear duct. Understand? Okay. Right. Only if it is straight line, it's a problem. If it is a curved line, then I can just use that itself.
Okay.
I have this one, and then here as well, I will be drawing this. I can start from here as well. I can start. So let's start by dividing these planes. You see, I'm not exactly spotting this one. I'm canceling out of this. How many regions are unnecessary? I'm just canceling out. Here it's pure etching. You'll have to rely upon your sketching skills. All I can provide you are signposts to look at, and then the rest depends upon how much you trust yourself into drawing this. More than your skills, it's all about how much you trust yourself. Don't be intimidated. It's not that hard. Portraits are not that hard. In fact, I had concluded the sessions, or nearly concluded the session. Deepa, and she had explained how easy it is to in fact draw a portrait. Once we understand the anatomy and structure, it's in fact pretty easy. It's not that hard. So if you notice, there is this bend here as well. It's not straight. See, there is this sharp tilt here, right? There is this tilt here for these eyes. See that? And I'm putting that on my sketch paper. Slight tilt, which I have done. And then there is, and now that I have this, let's draw this one. Let's draw the eyelids here, upper eyelids here. I have represented this upper eyelids with another plane that goes here. Some artists also draw the eyeball and then they draw these planes as wrapping around it. That is also another approach. It's very similar to what we did. That is what you say. In that way, you first draw the eyeballs. Out of the center, you approximate how wide your eyeballs are. And then you draw these eyelids as wrapping around this. That is another approach to drawing. It's not something that I generally use. I prefer to go this way, like dividing it into major planes and minor planes, because in that way we can use the same principle for every organ of the body. We'll divide it into major planes and minor planes. All right. Before we draw the iris, let's draw the other eye as well. We are adding this, we are drawing this with context. So a lot of this is concealed. A lot of this is concealed, but again, see, I have this basic structure here, and from here, this line is kind of tilted. See, it's tilted, a slight tilt. It doesn't have to be large tilt. Like a lot of you, when you draw the first time, because I say tilt, you will give it a large tilt. That'll make this eyes look like Spider-Man. You don't want that. So out of this one, let's divide these planes here. So let's start with this end, out of which I'm going to carve out this large volume here, which includes this portion. Which includes this upper eyelid, all this protection lid, cover layer, and all of that. A lot of this is covered with these eyebrows. There is this sharp tilt that comes here. I'm showing that. And I have drawn this, and I draw this here. And then there is
any eyelid in this, Niranjan.
Sorry?
There's no eyelid at all, right?
Yeah, the eyelid, see. In this one, you can see the eyelid.
Yeah,
This side, the eyelid is concealed by the hair. But we'll draw it. We'll draw it. I mean, we'll draw it. And what you say, when you draw it, always draw the entire portion and then show the hair as coming above it. That will give you with clarity. You don't have to, like, what you say. Remember, I talk about working in layers.
Okay.
So your hair always falls above the eyelid. So first draw the eyelid, because that will give you a context onto what you're doing. Otherwise, you can be lost. You can be a little lost. And then this tear duct comes here, this portion as well out of this one. Rather than drawing this, I think of it as how much portion I need to carve out for this. I just find it easier. How much portion I need to carve out for this. So it is that other approach where I'm just drawing this as a lid. This center here, and I'm drawing this, visualizing this to be a lid here that comes here. And then this lid comes here. And I draw this. Your measurement, your thing should be, you need to check whether these have a resemblance, whether these have a resemblance. So one thing that I notice is it's wider here. For her eyes are slightly bigger, wider. It curves down. In fact, it curves down, and then there is this downward twist that comes here. And see, you need to draw this. If you consider this one, it's nearly, what you say, because it's almond shape, it's nearly symmetrical, not quite there, nearly symmetrical. you'll have to check between the symmetry between both these eyes. You'll have to again double check the measurement. At this time, sometimes your space might be a little too big or it might be a little too small. If it is, you can correct it. It's coming out right. And then I have this. And since she's not looking down, her head is tilted down, but she's looking up towards us. A very seductive glance. So here I am going to start by drawing this iris here, and there is this there is this, what you say, what do you call this? There is a space. There is a space between this. So when I draw the iris, I advise you all to draw it as a full circle, some of which is covered by the upper eyelid. All right. In it, nevertheless, you represent it as a full thing. So does my drawing bear any resemblance, Shakira? Getting that. Yeah, and here you can check if your eyelid, how big your iris is. Is it matching? Is it pairing up? So you can double check here how it's coming, how much space is needed.
Only half her eyeball shows, Niranjan.
Sorry?
Only half her eyeballs show.
Yeah, in this side only a little bit. Nearly half, yes, nearly half is only showing, right? A lot of it is covered. A lot of it is covered, so you can recheck here, you can cover this here, you can do all this here. So we've done so far. Yes. So let's ink. Let's try inking this one here. Yes, are you ready? Let's try
Yes.
inking this portion here. I am going to be using a combination of 0.1, 0.05, and 0.03. These I'm going to be using a combination of these three. I will start with the darkest and most obvious portion. That is, I'll start with the darkest portion. So that I can just establish. My approach of inking is that I first get the outlines. I get this shape because when we draw with pencils, the shapes remain somewhat, what do you say? There is a lot of lines and they can be misguiding. So my first thing is to make the shape very solid. So I use this bold pencil lines to solidify my shape, like really get this ready. You don't have to use one single pen nib here or anything. Draw it like how you would draw. Think of it as a finished drawing. And then I can right, once I have this ready, once I have this basic structure and this shape ready, I can erase off these pencil marks. There. Let's try this. Because because of a time restraint, we will be doing just one side of this. I hope you should be able to do the other side following these steps. Yes. One side per portrait. That's what I'm thinking. So let's also block out this shape here. By now you should have a clarity. If you're not very sure on how this form is going to come, you can try with dotted lines, see how this works, and then proceed forward. I don't want it too narrow because then she'll look like she's really angry at something. You have to be careful of those micro expressions.
The eyes are coming out well, Niranjan, but it's not looking like Shakira's.
It's okay. Draw again.
Yeah.
It's your first portrait, right?
Yeah.
It's very common. It's very common when you draw for the first time. You will get individually. You'll get some very good features which you like. It will bear a resemblance at certain places. You will like it. If as long as you're liking the features, you know that you're on the right path. To get the entire portrait coming out correctly will require more practice. It will require more and more practice. I have to adjust the size of my head because my eyes, my eyes have drawn it a little bigger than necessary. I'll have to adjust the size of my head. I'll bring all of that. Like as we go forward with this entire portrait, you will see the real portrait come to life. So you can do this one and see now that I have this feature blocked out, what I can do is let us draw the water line here. A very small portion. This has to be very narrow. Very narrow. I don't know to what extent it is visible on this, but below this one, I'm adding a small line. Let's see if I can get my attention, bring your attention to this. Very narrow, very narrow. Just a small line here. So now that we have these details, now that we have this one's blocked out, let's get into the detailed part of it. Yes. So when you're drawing this one, how these forms and contours play a really major part of this. Notice for this, let's start with this outermost portion. I'm going to erase off a lot of these unnecessary pencil marks that are here. So when I consider this portion here, this looks like this cylindrical tube. Don't over exaggerate the curve, but imagine this one. You have a ball here. Over this, you have a ball here over which there is a protective tissue. How wide should that tissue be? You can in fact touch and feel that portion of your own eyes. Most of the time when you draw, it will become useful for you to just touch and feel. It will be somewhat like this. And then this is your upper eyelid that's coming above this one. So you can touch and feel and see how wide it is. You don't want to, this curve here, you don't want to curve it in such ways that it looks very weirdly curved. You don't want to curve it that way. Just see how far it is going to come. So I'm sketching this here for your reference. See this? This is how wide it's going to be. And then around this eyes as well, I can contour it this way. Considering this as my center, see, I'm going to contour it this way. So this is how my thing is going to be. We'll work on the entire face later. Just work on this region around this. Yeah, this makes sense. This makes more sense. I'm considering this the center, I'm taking it here. All right. So these portions are out of limits. These are all off limits. I'm just blocking out so that I know where not to step out. So this much portion is what I need to work upon. All right. Let's start with a very light pen here. I'm going to use my 003 pen and I'm going to start by inking this. So I'm going to draw these subtle light strokes here. So when I look at this one here, I have my light source is from the top. It's very clear from this image that the light source is from the top and it is from the left side. It is from here. The top left side is where my light is going to come. On this portion, because her hair comes here, some shadows are cast on this side. Some shadow of the hair is cast on the side and this bulge here is well lit. Similarly, you will also notice a cast shadow of the hair around this portion. Do you see it? See? Cast shadow of the hair is around here. So these are things, and then this portion, of course, is darker. So these are some of the parts that I need to consider. All right. Let's use a lighter pen. And draw this. See this? I'm getting this bulge, and I can also do a layer of cross hatching here. Carefully. Around this bottom portion as well. And this one, I'll have to insert this. See? I can use different pens at this stage. Just slightly shifting to a bolder pen here. So use ink in whatever ways you find most appropriate. But you have to look at where these shades are going to be. So this portion here, and then there is this. I can highlight this. Each time you ink, think of yourself as carving out the form. Right, you're carving out the form in 3D. This portion here is darker. How about this? See? So let's not extend that far because that can create confusion. Let's just draw this slightly here. I need to actually draw this as it's curving inwards. You have this portion set here. Let's also slightly work on adding toning near this. See, it's slightly darker, so I'm adding a layer of cross hatching here. Slowly tilting my direction here as I go. I need not go beyond this. See this? I'm considering my center to be this. Since I'm drawing this eye here, this is my center. What is to the left of this is curved this way. What is to the right of this is curved this way. Let's not venture that far. All right, so I have got this. Then how else? How else right now? What else I can do with this? Let's get into slight details around this portion here.
Niranjan, I have a question here.
Yes.
In this case, the upper leg, when we will draw the upper leg and the lower legs, then it will be merged with the contouring part, no? How can we differentiate that?
As in, I don't understand your question.
If I want to show the lower part, lower eyelids.
Lower eyelids, yes.
Then if I want to show the contour.
Oh,
also,
this
that
merging part, how is this going to merge? Right. That's a very good question. It's a very interesting question. If you consider this portion here, if you look at this one here, this is your nose. This is your nose. Your human body is in fact very beautiful. This contour here is going to curve inwards. See, this portion here is curving inwards. See this? This portion curves inwards and this merges in so well with this nose. So your eye level is here. This curves inwards and then this merges in so well with this nose here. This curving inward as it comes here, it merges with this portion as well. So see, we'll work on it. Right now, let's not worry about it. Think of these as separate portions and let's draw it. Eventually, it will merge together. All right. It will merge together as we work on the rest of the skin tones. That's what we are going to be focusing on later. For now, just draw this much portion. You can think of these as upper and lower. But when you draw this, always see how I am changing the direction such that it goes this way. See this, Rosina. I am not being rigid about this. So if my eyes are this way, I'm not going to draw it this way. There is a difference when I draw this way versus when I mark it this way. Your marks has to go with this form. Yes?
Yeah.
One question, Niranjan, regarding the like here the eyelash. If we have to depict the eyelash, it kind of is also like how the contour lines in the lower lid are looking like right now.
The eyelashes, right?
Yes.
We'll work on the eyelashes.
It will also match with that contouring part.
Oh no! You're asking how will we able to distinguish? Yeah, don't worry.
Yes.
Don't worry. See, I hope you have drawn these with light pens, with 003 light pens. So this entire part, Vijita, when it comes, it's a very good question. This entire part it has to be very light. So this entire portion when I come here, it has to look very light. And here is just a shadow. These are just shadows that I'm representing here. So don't over darken it. we'll work on it. We'll work on it. It's just about adding more depth into the eyelashes. All right. Now I can mark the iris and the pupil. Here the iris isn't clearly visible because of the very dark eyes. I can just mark this pupil here. This white pupil is this white window. Just mark this. Find the most appropriate position for this and just block this out. So this is mostly dark black eyes that I have here. Yet I can bring in more intrigue by blocking this out with this one portion here. This, I draw the circle around this, and then another darker portion above on top. This portion can come here above on top. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I can go with the bold pen. So when you consider this portion here, your light is coming from the top, and most of these are under shadows. A lot of these are going to be dark. It's going to be under the shadows. You have your eyes. You have your eyes here. When we consider the light that's going to fall, a lot of these are going to be under shadows. Yes. A lot of these are going to be under shadows here. Here. So this portion, this top portion of your iris is going to be dark. So I'm using a 0003 pen and I'm just blackening this in front. Let's also darken this line here. See, that brings in all the difference. Similarly, when we draw the eyelashes, we'll also be drawing it to darker lines. We'll get there. Just blacken. Let's just blacken this one. All right. And then as for this one, I'm going to be, as for this, I'm going to be drawing lines that, so I can consider these lines as projecting from the center, projecting outwards from the center. Right. This, you can imagine this to be an imaginary axis, and these lines you're projecting it outwards. So see, radiating, not projecting, radiating from the center. Let's just work. So in this way, when I work, it's better than just blackening it everywhere. And I can just draw them as radiating from the center.
Are you giving this highlight because it's showing down, Niranjan? The eye is looking straightly angled.
Which one? Just highlight this one.
Yeah, I mean the highlights inside the eye which you've given like that.
The highlight. Yeah. This is an integral part of the eye. Do you notice? It's there in the reference image as well. This part is called the pupil.
Oh, okay.
Right. And then I can solidify the C. This bottom end of this, I can use a bolder pen and I can really make this solid. So this shape has to be very defined. See, that brings in a lot of difference.
That ball effect is come inside, no?
Exactly. Call it whatever you want.
I've got the black point.
Got it?
Yes, understood, Niranjan.
Are you able to see lively eyes coming now? So we have this set. We have this much set. Let's also bold. Let's also make this region bold here. Marvelous. Your eyes look like Shakira's. How about yours? Thank you so much, guys. It's that small things that eventually add up, compound. And then I'm bold. I'm making these. So a lot of this is about contrast. A lot of this is about contrast and thing. I'm making this bold and I'm carving it in. And similarly, I can work on this region as well. You can work on this region as well. So I work this. Okay, so we'll work. So this white of the eye, we will work on that as well. That needs to be worked very carefully. But I'm going to first work on this bottom eyelid. So below the waterline is where I'm going to be working at. All right. It's okay. Try again. It's okay. The session is, you have the recording. So watch it, rewatch it and try again. Think of this as your trial. I noticed I also like the way this has come out. Like I'm typically, I don't like the drawings that I make in these sessions, but I like the way this has come out now. I'm determined. I want to get 3 portraits by the end of this. So this one here. Now I can work on this eyelashes here. See, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flick these pen strokes here. It's coming as a part of it. So work on the bottom and the top eyelashes. This one here, it comes here. So these eyelashes, when you consider from these ends, what is this? Hema seems very pissed, typing in capital.
Actually, I'm enjoying.
Hema seems very pissed, like
100% not. Seriously, we are having super fun doing this. Only thing Shakira Mari Varla. That's all.
That's okay.
I just messaged Tanvi. Definitely not pissed. We are having, I mean, it's nice.
That's nice. Okay, so look at this one here. One of the common errors that I've seen when drawing eyelashes is you tend to draw it this way, which makes this look like a cockroach and not an eye. So rather what we are going to be doing is when we consider this eyelash here, a lot of this is going to merge together. These eyelashes, it varies for different people. For some people, the main difference between the male eye and the female eye is that number one, for men generally, the eyebrows are wider, are broader and thick. Secondly, the eyelashes for women are more. For men, it is less, comparatively less. These are the only differences that I have noticed in male eye and female eye. Now, when you consider these eyes here, so you have this eye here and these eyelashes that come, a lot of this, in fact, merges together and then they come off as a single thing. If you notice anime eyes, that's all they draw.
Okay.
Right. Japanese cartoon anime, that's all they draw. It comes this way. We will go a little more detailed. We will merge it together. And then in addition to it, we'll also make slight flicks that goes out this way. These flicks should not be organized as such, but rather when you do this, you will have to go a little random with this. See this? What looks more natural, this or this?
Second one.
The bottom one.
Should we do the contouring after the eyelashes or do the eyelashes and then do the contouring?
For this one, do this first because the eyelashes are a hair projection that comes over it. What is underneath is what should be drawn first. Similar to what I said.
So first the contouring and then the eyelashes.
Yes, the contouring is the skin. The eyelashes is the hair that comes over it. Right?
Yeah.
So what's below should draw first. Even when we draw the mustache, as we'll do in a later session, I will first advise you to draw the person as if he is clean shaven. Only after that we'll be drawing the mustache and the beard. That makes a difference, trust me. That makes a big difference. Rather than straight up drawing mustache and beard, we'll first draw the person as if he's clean shaven. Then here as well, when I draw, these eyebrows as well. The bottom one, okay, I meant the bottom one. I should not be going this way, but rather I can keep it more natural by, these are generally shorter. These are generally shorter. These are not as long. The ones on top are longer because it needs to protect the eyes more. The ones at the bottom are shorter, and this one as well, we can keep it a little random here. So when I look at this one, see some of this is turned, some of this is coming this way, some come in this way, some, like slightly go this way. It has all these varied expressions. Keep it a little random, observe and then draw. Understand? These are things that once you bring to your attention, you should be able to bring it effortlessly. But the thing is, we generally tend to observe less. Now that it's within your sphere of awareness, you should be able to get this. So let's try this. See, slight touches on the eyelashes. And similarly, now is Vijita's question clear, confusion cleared?
Yes, yes.
These will be shown separately. These needs to be seen. Now these seem very light as compared to this. That's because you had, it seemed dark because you had nothing, no benchmark to compare it with. So from this, so when you take this one, do not take it from the outside, rather take it from the inside. So you have this, from this waterline here, you take it from the inside. It's not coming from the outside. Small difference, but they eventually add up. It needs to come from the inside. All right. Similarly here as well, it needs to come from the inside. Just push the pen, just slightly flick the pen strokes outside, and you should be able to do fine. Fair enough. So we have nearly, we have most of the eyes done. Now have you been able to catch up so far? Now what's remaining are the eyebrows and the whites of the eye. Yes, we will work on the white of the eye as well. We are not going to leave it completely blank. We are not going to leave it completely blank. We will work on the white of the eyes as well. Let's first work on these. Let's first work on this, on the eyebrows.
Niranjan?
Yes.
I need to leave, Niranjan. I'll follow it later.
Oh, okay.
So,
What's the matter?
thank you so much. No, I'm just going to have dinner. Everybody's
right. No problem.
So
no problem.
I'm in my mom's place. No, that's why. And just post a picture for me after you finish it, Niranjan.
Sure. I will post a picture. The recording will also be out. Don't worry.
Okay, Niranjan. Right. Thank you, Niranjan. Bye.
I hope you enjoyed this.
Yeah.
Lots.
Eyes are very clear. Yes. Contouring is the part which I want to learn it.
Yes.
So it's very neatly done.
Very interesting.
Yes, Niranjan. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for joining in.
Bye, Niranjan.
Bye. Enjoy.
Thank you.
If you're having a nice feast, share photos of food in the group.
Food?
If you're having a nice dinner, I said nice dinner, nice feast, share photos of the food in the group.
Oh, okay. Okay, Niranjan. I will. Bye.
Bye. So guys, let's continue. Let's continue drawing the eyes as we had left. So these ones, see, when I draw the eyebrows here, it's generally like how it's what you say. First thing that I would tell you is I want you to first draw what's below the eyebrows. So your eyes are here. So your eyes are here, and then you have your eyebrows here. First thing is, because a lot of the times the eyebrows are not very thick for a lot of people. When we draw the skin underneath it, and then the eyebrows, once I represent the skin underneath it, and then I draw the eyebrows on top of it, these will not look blank when I don't draw anything. In areas where I don't draw anything, these will not look blank. Otherwise, what happens is, if the eyebrows are thin and the hair is not strong enough, and if we just draw slight little bit of hair here, a lot of this will look blank. It will look very odd in the portrait. So we first draw this as if it's the same logic which I'm telling you. When you draw a bearded person, draw as if he's clean shaven person. Over that, work the beard. Because wherever in spaces where there is lack of hair, lack of this approach, this technique will really help. Now what we're going to do is see, this is very small eyebrows, so we cannot exactly say, but generally for eyebrows, if you notice, generally how are the eyebrows going? Generally, if you notice for the eyebrows, these tend to these come this way, these eyebrows come this way. I'm sorry. Yeah, these eyebrows generally they come this way, and then it kind of curves like this, and then it curves like this with most curvature here. So this portion it curves, and this portion it takes on a different curve, different approach. This is the way eyebrows generally are. So since it's not very clear, we'll just use a light pen and we'll draw a lighter version. We'll draw a light version. First up, I start with the skin tone here, which I place. Again, very light. And then here, let's lightly place this. Very light and subtle. You don't even have to go very dark about this, and keep it, what you say, it's very defined, very neat threaded eyebrows. A little bit of these eyebrows, when it comes here, it turns as well, like it turns. So this is the general direction of the eyebrows. Turns this way. So just that basic knowledge will help you with these eyebrows here. Okay. Let's also add some darkness on these regions. And these regions rather tend to be dark. So I can work on these. I can work on these portions as if they were really dark.
Hey Niranjan, I'll have to take leave now. I have another call, phone call.
Sorry?
I have another phone call waiting for me. I'll have to take leave. I'll catch up with the leftover recordings.
Sure, no problem. No problem.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. Do share your work in the group, all right?
Yeah. Okay, bye.
Bye. And I hope you enjoyed.
Yes. Even though it doesn't look like Shakira's eyes.
The drawing the eyes, the inking the eyes is a new experience for a lot of you people.
Yes. Okay then. Bye.
What is Archana still here? Is Archana still here? Or Archana Sharath has left. It must be very late in her place. It must be close to 12. 12 a.m. Archana Sharath. No, I suppose not. So okay, so
the eyebrows, the hair from top to bottom you've drawn. Usually when we do it with pencil, we just flick it up, right?
Yeah. I draw because it's a more precise, because it's a very small eyebrows.
Okay.
I can get more precise work when I follow this. If it's a very broad eyebrows, yeah, I can just flick it, right? So I have this much portion here. Now what's left is the whites of the eye. So have you been able to catch up so far?
Yes.
So when we draw these whites of the eye, we need to be very careful. We need to be very delicate. When we just leave it blank as it is, when we leave it blank as it is, it doesn't look as good as it wants. It just looks like a void. So we are going to work with strokes that So since if here's the iris, and I'm going to work with strokes that curve around this. We are not going to go throughout. So two things you need to understand, keep in mind when you're doing this. Number one, we are going to use very light pens, very light pens. Number two, I might even use dotted lines at certain places to keep it very subtle. Number three, I'm not going to work on this entire region as it is, because when I work on this entire region, it will look too full. I will leave some spaces negative. Where I'm going to work is mostly the light is here and a lot of this portion is shadowed. So I can work on it and see these needs to come round. These needs to lovely. So when I work around this, it needs to go around this. Understand? Don't draw, please don't draw throughout. This portion is where there is going to be a lot of shadows, because the light, this portion where is going to be a lot of shadows. So we'll work on that portion alone. Curved strokes that goes through it, and keep it very, very consistent. Very consistent.
I'm really afraid of doing this with pen.
Very afraid, right? I understand. But face your fears. You have to face your fears here.
A4 is easy, Rosina. Only A5 is
Yes, yes. A4 means yes. A4, there is more space to draw, but it is, there is what you say. You can, in fact, there is more space to learn.
Rosina can't say it now. I'm scared.
Yeah, see, I got it correct.
Very nice. Very nice.
Let's erase this. That's my eye. All right. It's already past our time. In fact, it's 8:44, and once I have a look at a few, I've already made you sit for long enough. So I would rather say that you sketch, you practice, and draw the rest of the drawings. We haven't drawn a profile view. That's something that I am wary of. That will take another 1 hour. If we draw this one, we get in Shark, and a lot of you are already so tired after this one. You're not going to be getting it right. It will be like those extra classes where, you know, the maths teacher forces you to sit and you just want to take a break. So let's not take it that way. Let's not, art cannot come from that position of being forced. I think now would be a very good time to stop. Do share your work in the group. Do share your work in the group. And I would love to see what you've done. And you can take your time. You can take your time. And I will make a separate video on how to draw the profile view. I will share it in the WhatsApp group. Okay. Or I will share it as a recording on how to draw the eyes in profile view. That is an area that we haven't covered. It's very simple. I'll just throw some light onto what can be done regarding it. Thinking, you just need to follow the same rules. The same rules. When we are drawing a 3/4, we contextualize it in a different way. When you're drawing this one, we contextualize in a different way. That's about it. All right. So after this one, I'm going to be taking like for 48 hours. I'll have to take a complete time off from screens. After this, what you say, for 1 week, I'll also be taking a break from the sessions. After that, we can continue. But of course, share your work. And after 2-3 days, I should be good enough to review your work on Padlet.
We can resume next week, Niranjan. You take a break.
No. I mean, you can practice in this time.
We practice.
Yeah, you practice and share your work. I will certainly
review some pictures on WhatsApp, no eyes or something with contouring, so we'll practice and keep.
Yes. I will share with you also. I will share with you PDF practice exercises. Okay. Plenty of practice exercises from the eyes in different views, front, side, all of this. Plenty of practice exercises already. So I'll be sharing them with you. you as well. All right.
Shakira is looking so nicely. Shakira is not like that.
You like your work as well, Rosina?
Yeah, I did, but your eyes are so.
Eyes carry a certain magic.
I
of their
did
own.
No, we are going to share it in the group and now scare Niranjan.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. Share. I would like to see what you've done.
That's a difficult topic. We are laughing actually.
What? Sorry?
That's a difficult topic. We are laughing. It's like it was nice.
It was nice. You see, what I'm very happy, what I'm genuinely happy about is a lot of you have got certain areas very right. I like Malanti's work here. Very nice. The face also has a resemblance. See, the portrait, this face, exact structure isn't right, and that's okay. We will convey it. We'll cover it up in the later weeks.
Yeah.
We'll cover it up in the later weeks, and of course, it requires practice. For most often, I think it is your first portrait. Isn't that the case? Yeah. It's very nice work for the first portrait. See, a lot of these details, this one here, it's a little sharp here. This place is rather sharp here. This curves inwards, it curves outwards. These are all, then this bone is a little sharp, especially for her. Since she's a pretty lean person, these features become very sharp. So it's what you see, these things you understand more with practice. But from what we have learned so far, you have done a very nice work on this.
Thank you, Niranjan.
Very nice work. I especially love how you have done the whites of the eye. Do some practice exercises as well.
Okay.
Okay, I can see that you have a slight confusion regarding how to contour this work. So
Yes.
there is a session in which I have specifically covered contours. You can use this weekend and practice this. I mean, I had covered this in the last batch and I can share it with you. I can share, Sanchari will share it with you.
Yeah.
And you can practice it.
Okay.
Okay.
That will be helpful for me, I think.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
2 sessions, just 2 sessions. And in
Okay.
the first session, in which I cover the concept, 40 to 45 minutes is just introduction and things that you already know. So if the video is nearly 1.5 to 2 hours, it's only after nearly 50 minutes the actual value part starts.
Okay.
It's in the BA. That's right. So Vijita, the problem is that, hey Vijita, are you here?
Yes.
See, the eyes carry a very good resemblance. The eyes indeed does carry a very good resemblance. Very nice work on that. It's subtle expressions.
Niranjan, I'll leave Niranjan. Thank
Yes,
you.
yes, no problem. You can leave. So as for the eyes are concerned, it's a very, very subtle expressions that makes up a lot of the things. She is looking at you. She is looking at you with intrigue in this. It's a kind of a charming, what you say. She's a belly dancer. So she's looking at you how like a belly dancer would look at you in a very seductive manner. But this one, a slight difference made it seem like she's kind of angry at something.
Yeah, I think the eyebrows.
Yes, the eyebrows, a small shift in the eyebrows. And also the positioning of positioning of this as well, the iris as well. Okay. So it is slightly raised higher than it should be. Slightly raised higher than it should be.
If I draw another layer to make it bigger, it might be okay.
I will tell you what you need to do. What you need to do is you have the printout. You take a printout of this face here, close to the size in which that you had drawn. Okay. Trace the eyes over it. Okay. And then trace the eyes over it. And then you have the traced image. Place that over this and you can compare. Understand? Oh. Okay. For example, you have drawn this in an A5 size. You can see what you can do is you can measure this. How large my drawing here is 19.5 centimeters in height, and it's for you. These feedback I'm sharing is for everyone. 12.5 centimeter in width. Now what I can do is I need to take a printout with the same size. So my eyes will also be at the same size. Yes.
Yes.
And then what I can do is this is something that I used to do. And then you can trace the eyes over it. And you can compare, you can place it over this and you can compare and see where it has gone wrong, where it has come right. See that?
Okay. Yeah.
It's easy. It will give you more because then there is that effect. You can layer over it and you can see. It also creates that thing. It's easy. It makes more what you say, it teaches you more than just referring a photo and comparing. Then see, and also the facial shape. I'm not getting into the facial shape because the facial shape will need lots of work. We'll do that. We'll do that in the upcoming sessions. Don't worry. Then a lot of you have got different see. As far as Tanvi's drawing is concerned, the eyes are way bigger than it should be. Or if you notice, the space between the eyes are lighter. In my screen, if I just measure and see, it is, what you say, 3 centimeters. These eyes are 3 centimeters. These are 3 centimeters. The right eye is also 3.2 centimeters. The spacing between the eyes is only 2.5 centimeters. See, it's immediately noticeable, right? So that is one area that you need to be very, very careful of. Now, based on what I said, if this is 3 centimeters, this width here side by side, it should at least be 1.5 centimeters. That means in this one, let me download and show you where the difference is going to come. In this one here, when I draw, if my eyes are this wide here, 1.5 centimeters means it should come at least till, here. This face should at least come at least this wide. Same for here as well. It should come at least this wide. That is what you need to do. This needs to be much wider. So be careful of these things. Apart from that, the way Tanvi had drawn, the eyebrows have come out. It's thick, it's too thick, it's thicker than it's necessary. Yet the shape has come out right. The expression also more or less it has come out right. For the left eye, for the right eye, the iris is placed bigger than raised higher than it should be. There need not be this much space. This is too much spacing. So be careful of these errors. These are the common things that we see. Let's see some more. What all is visible. This approach that I told about tracing and checking is a very good one, which you can use a lot for self-evaluation. Of all the drawings I've seen, Rosina's has come out the most accurate. Very nice work. Very nice work. The face has come out right. The spacing between the eyes is too less. So when I measure this one here, it is 3 centimeters, 3.5 centimeters. Each eye is 3.5 centimeters. 3.5. Yeah. The spacing between the eyes is only 2.5 centimeters. What happens in a lot of cases is you will draw an eye. So what happens, why this narrowness occurs for a lot of cases is you will first draw an eye. On this margin here, I have designated this much space for the eye. You will first draw this eye here. And then what happens is, as you expand, so there is this, as you work more, you will expand a little more on this side. You will make it slightly wider here because it's convenient when you ink. Similarly, you will add a tear duct here. That is why the eyes tend to be, see, you are expanding on both sides and it is contracting on this end, which is why it tends to be narrower. Instead, this space that you have designated for the eye is where the outermost extent of the eye will be, except the eyelashes. The eyelashes will extend out. The eyelashes can extend out, except for the outermost edge of the eye. That is, in my drawing, this one, this portion, and the tear duct. All of this is included in this. Understand? The tear duct, everything has to come between this. A lot of you, if you notice, your tear duct is very big. You have made it extremely big. You have made it very prominent. It's a very small gland that is hardly noticeable. In fact, like most of the time when we draw eyes, we don't even draw the tear gland. We draw the eyes like this, right? We don't even draw the tear gland because it's that small. It's very small. Your space for the eye has to include all of this. So be careful of this. It's the third person in which I'm noticing this. The eye space becomes narrower. Let's see. But except for that, the resemblance is very, very likely. I especially loved how the outer line of this has been drawn. The the positioning of the eyes vertically is on point, and the eyes also you have inked very well. It's a very nice work apart from this. Hey Hema, I would appreciate if you took a front up photo. A front up photo. Oh, you did send a front up photo.
I'll take a better
Hello?
picture.
Yeah, a front up photo, because I cannot the top photo. These eyes look very good though. These eyes look very good. You
Because
drew it separately, is it?
very small to work. By the time you taught, I started doing it myself. So I didn't like it.
Yeah, you can try this or try again. Like so let me show you a preview of the practice exercises that I have designed for you. So these will come in entire full phases. Better than this is this. So I have divided these.
Only the eyes, huh?
Yeah, just hold on. Yeah, so I have divided these into different views. So you have the lot of practice exercises, the front view, which looks front, top. All you need to do are the eyes. Because I'm sharing the entire face, you don't even have to draw the face structure, space out for the thing. It's not necessary. Because if I just share the eyes, you would not understand the context. So out of these, you can draw like you have this one here, and then you have this here. You have this here. So you have all these different things. You have all these different views. You have all these different views that come here. All you need to, when you practice as well, you can practice it side lower by lower. So you first draw one eye here. Directly below it, you can draw the next eye. Just practice that way. Just draw eyes. You can also ink if necessary. I would say focus more on sketching, because from what I have seen, the none of you have any major problems with thinking. Focus more on the sketching part of it, getting the proportions correct. Pay attention to these areas that I said. All right. Getting these pieces correct. And of course, you can ink a couple more drawings as well. Let's see. Did you share the photo? Did you reshare the photo, Hema? Yes, it's here. Yeah. So when I look into this one here, let's see. Again, this is another expression. She looks a little angry. In both of these, she looks a little angry, but it isn't a very bad drawing either. It's what you say, the resemblance is there. The left eye has come out very well. The right eye needs work. The left eye has come out very well. I feel this eye could have been wider.
Wider.
It's narrower. These eyes are.
How to get that soft look?
How to get that soft look?
Soft.
Oh.
I mean, you say it's angry, no? So that softer look.
Yeah. The softer look comes when we position the eyebrows. It's all about the positioning of the eyebrows.
Eyebrows.
Yeah. So I will show you something. On this drawing here, if I had to draw quick emoticons, here. Here are my two eyes. Look at this one. Does this look like does this look like an angry person? Let me contextualize. See, does this look like a sad person? It's all about the positioning of the eyebrows. These are the two extremes. Anger and fear. This one. This is neutral. This is neutral. Right. It's an adjustment between these three. For those of you who think the eyes look very angry, you have angled it too much. especially around this portion. When we are very angry, our folds, there is this fold that comes between the eyebrows because pressure is applied. This part is squeezed in. It's somewhat what you say. Arousal is not this one, but it is slightly what you say. It is not very flat either. Lower down, but not so lower down. You'll have to find this one. Right? Try it out. It's all about trying different. Lot of this is eyeballing. You'll have to just check. And all right. So that's about it for the session. Let's see how many of you have stayed till the end. Congratulations.
Niranjan, how have I done?
What?
Yeah. How my eyes?
Oh, I didn't see your work. That's what I was wondering. Where is Meghalai's work?
No, it's there.
Where?
I posted it actually before Rosina, I think. Yeah.
For Rosina. I didn't see. That's what Tanvi. Yes,
Yeah,
now I can hear. Yeah, have your name saved as Megs. I just directly saved it from what Hema shared. So look at this one. See, as far as your face is concerned, as far
Like
as
you said, no,
face,
as we develop, the eyes are going bigger and bigger.
yes, the eyes see. Your eyes, the drawing of your eyes, it carries a shape, and as far as the expression is concerned, your drawing has the most likeness as far as the expressions are concerned. So Rosina has more or less got it correct. Yours is also very close, pretty close, I would say. It is here, right? Yeah, yours is also pretty close, I would say. But your eyes have vertically become too big. If you notice, it's too angled.
Yeah.
This portion is too angled. It's looking like a mountain here. It's looking like a mountain and a valley. This should have been softer.
Yeah.
Consider right. Yeah, right. That curve should have been softer. So you'll have to be careful. See, it isn't the way you have
Very
drawn
subtle.
is very subtle. The way you have drawn is this.
Yeah.
Right. Parents, I understand. A lot of you did this along with in session and it isn't easy. Try this again. Keep these pointers.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, you'll have to avoid. What I'm happy about is you're all getting the basic structure correct. So it is there. You have learned how to draw eyes. Now the thing is bringing the resemblance to the person. It's difficult.
Okay.
It's not. That takes time. That takes time.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Sure.
So it's all right then.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Niranjan. Bye. Good night.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you. Bye. Good
Bye.
night.
Wish me good luck. Tomorrow's my surgery operation.
Yeah, best of luck.
Hope you see us
Everything is fine.
clearer from next time.
Yeah, I'll be able to spot your errors much more. Mistakes much more clear.
Oh no.
Next time.
Oh no.
Bye.
Okay, bye.